Well, here we are again. I said in my last Red Dead conspiracy video if it did good I would make another one, and you guys seemed to really enjoy that video, so here's another one. If you guys haven't seen the first Red Dead theory video I made, make sure to go watch that one after this one. One last thing, if you guys want more of these videos, I have no problem making more. I love Red Dead Redemption, and I love theories. Now enough chit chat, let's get right into the conspiracies. Let's start off with a theory on who Gavin is. For the two people who don't know what I'm talking about, while playing Red Dead Redemption 2, you can come across a man named Nigel, and he's looking for his friend Gavin. He says it's been a couple of years since he's seen Gavin, and he doesn't even remember what he looks like. Nigel describes Gavin as a big bloke, has a sense of humor, and is from London. Some people think he's talking about Trelawney, since he is known for disappearing randomly for periods of time. But Trelawney isn't that big of a guy, and let's be honest, we all know he's not Gavin. If he turns out to be Gavin, I will delete my channel. Someone who is closer to the description is the giant you can talk to. The giant is a giant. He's big, and he has a sense of humor. But if the giant is Gavin, then why would Nigel be looking for him in the city? To this day, no one really knows who Gavin is. But in my opinion, along with a lot of other people, is that Gavin is actually Nigel. There's two theories on why Gavin could be Nigel. The first one is that Nigel hit his head and forgot he was Gavin. And then there's the second one, and most likely one. Nigel could very possibly suffer from identity disorder, which if you didn't know is split personalities, and Nigel just doesn't know he suffers from this disorder. So Gavin would be Nigel's second personality. This is the leading theory because if you loot Nigel's body, you can find a letter that someone named Tom gave him. The letter talks about Nigel's dad dying when he was just a kid. And the common cause for split personalities are traumatic experiences, so people think that Gavin was created by Nigel after his dad died. And to add even more to this theory, the letter also mentioned that Nigel used to trick people into thinking he was from London, which is where Nigel says Gavin is from. So if this is true and Nigel is actually Gavin, then why did Gavin just disappear one day? Well, Nigel only created Gavin to help him get over his father's death. So maybe when Nigel got rich and was over it, Gavin disappeared. So, Nigel is most likely Gavin, and just doesn't know he has this disorder. But that's not even the saddest part about this theory. You can see Nigel looking for Gavin in chapter 3, and then you can see him again in the epilogue. And he's still looking for Gavin. So that means for the past 7 to 8 years, Nigel has been walking around looking for someone who doesn't exist anymore. Now since that's pretty depressing, I'm going to take a moment to debunk something. In my last video, I mentioned that Micah wasn't a rat until after he gets back from Norma, and some of you had the audacity to comment saying I was wrong, and Micah was a rat for the entire game, and Milton was just lying when he said that. I saw one comment saying that Milton was just lying, but if you think about it, Milton wasn't planning on letting Arthur, Abigail, and Sadie go back to the camp, so why would he lie? Also, what's the point in lying? He already told them that Micah was a rat. There would be no reason for Milton to lie about when they hired Micah. And then there's another comment saying Micah was a rat for the entire game because you can find a wanted poster of Dutch at Micah's camp near Strawberry. So people think he was a rat because he has that poster. But do you want to know a better reason and more logical reason on why he has the poster? He's trying to get on Dutch's good side since he murdered an entire town. And Dutch is Micah's boss, so why wouldn't Micah just take down the poster when he sees it? Because if he doesn't, people are going to recognize Dutch even more. Anyways, now that I'm done with that, and we're talking about Dutch, let's talk about how he might be a cannibal. In Red Dead Redemption 2, you can hear Dutch say this.
What matters? What's always mattered?
Surviving.
The result, not the means, which I guess is sort of the same thing. We'll survive. We'll keep moving forward. Maybe we'll leave the West far behind.
And do what?
Give it time. Look at the birds. Look at the beasts. Copy what the best ones do.
Now for this theory, there's two key details in this line of dialogue. The first one is that he says it doesn't matter how he survives, it just matters that he does survive. And he also says, look at the beasts and copy what the best ones do. So already we know that Dutch would do anything to survive and wants to copy the beasts. But what started this entire theory is in Red Dead Redemption 1, if you go to Dutch's camp and look at his chair, you can see femur bones underneath it. And also in Red Dead Redemption 1, you can do a side mission where you track down a serial killer, and during this mission, you see a lot of the same bones. Now this means one of two things. One, Dutch ate humans to survive. Or 2, Rockstar didn't want to design different bones, so they just took the same femur bones from the serial killer mission and put them in Dutch's base to make it look more dirty and ruthless. Now personally, I don't think Dutch is a cannibal, but he is unpredictable and does kind of give off the vibe as someone who would eat humans to survive. Plus, maybe he was starving and had no choice, so I wouldn't be surprised if he did eat people. But I think it's most likely that they just used the same bone assets to decorate his camp. And the line of dialogue that Dutch says is just kind of a one-off thing they had him say. Now, the next theory isn't really a Red Dead Redemption theory, but more of a Rockstar theory. In Red Dead Redemption 2, if you hack the game and fly up to the clouds, you can see that at any time they look absolutely stunning. But why would Rockstar put all this time into the top of the clouds that you would only see during one mission? Well, the theory is that in Red Dead Redemption 2, they were testing a lot of technology for GTA 6. And in GTA 6, the clouds would look a lot like they did in Red Dead Redemption 2, because they already made them look great and know what to use for the technology. Again, it's not really a Red Dead Redemption theory, but I thought it's a likely and interesting theory nonetheless. Now, let's talk about a creepy theory that takes place in Pleasance. If you go to Pleasance, you will see that the entire town is abandoned, and there is a closed barn that you can't go inside, and it says, "Stay out, plague," on the door. Some people think that this is a reference to The Walking Dead, because in the show there's a door that says, "Don't open, dead inside." And then there's some graves saying that a couple of people died on the same day, but in my opinion, I think it was probably just a non-zombie sickness that killed everyone. Because you think they would add a little more to the town if it was actually zombies. Like a couple of zombie-like grunts or something like that. Maybe you bump into someone and he tells you a story about zombies, or maybe you find one zombie and you have to kill it. Who knows? But if Rockstar did want to add an Undead Nightmare DLC to this game, this could be the perfect way to do it. Maybe have Arthur or John open up the barn door and have a bunch of zombies running out. Now we are down to the last 2 theories we are going to talk about in this video. Let's discuss the theory that Mary and Arthur had a kid, and that kid is actually Jamie, aka Mary's little brother. If this theory is true, then that would explain why Mary's dad hates Arthur so much, because he got his daughter pregnant. And it would also explain why Mary acts so weird around Arthur, despite the fact that she's clearly still in love with him. Mary also treats Jamie a lot like a son instead of a little brother. For example, Mary calls Jamie her sweet boy, which is a little weird for a sister to call her little brother. And in this cutscene, there's also a small detail. When Jamie mentions his father, both Jamie and Mary pause and look at Arthur. I'll just show you the clip.
Father's been very sad.
Father wouldn't know sadness if it died in his bed. But I'll come home for you.
My boy. My sweet boy.
Am I reading into this a little with that last point? Probably, but Jamie and Arthur do look similar, and even Mary said that Jamie always listens to Arthur. I don't know if Jamie knows Arthur is his dad, but it's a pretty good theory that I totally did not find off a comment from my last video. Now let's talk about one more theory. This theory is about Uncle, and how he might have been Red Harlow. If you don't know who Red Harlow is, he is the main character in the video game Red Dead Revolver that was also published by Rockstar Games. He is also a legendary gunslinger, and one of the best in the Red Dead Redemption universe. Pretty much the theory goes like this. Both Uncle and Red Harlow's parents died when they were just kids. Furthermore, you can hear Uncle say back in the day they called him One-Shot Kid, and Red Harlow's first kill only took 1 shot.
In my youth, I used to be known as the One-Shot Kid.
Is this theory probably not true? Yes, it's definitely not true, but it's also fun to imagine Uncle, perhaps the most lazy man in America, was once one of the most dangerous gunslingers around. And that is all the theories we were going to talk about today. If you guys enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Also, if you want to see more theories, go check out my other theory video I made on Red Dead Redemption, along with a video where I analyze and rank 10 movie/TV show characters. And once again, thank you so much if you made it this far. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.